Hello, my name is Mr. Kretzos, and this is apparently the remote version of our open house this year. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of what your students are experiencing with me in honors chemistry this year. I like to start out by saying it's been a great experience for what it is so far. Obviously, it's a lot harder than being in person and being able to play in the lab, which is one of the best parts of chemistry. But I have to say the students have been taking the course very seriously and have been working very hard to try to learn the material that is in this course. So I'm really impressed so far with how well they've taken to this very strange world of education that we're living through. So thank you for that. I appreciate it. Um, so yeah, let me give you a kind of a quick tour of what things look like from your student's point of view. First, a little bit about me. I actually went to Niles North, graduated in 1988, which means I also went to the feeder schools. I went to Oakview, which was or is now called McCracken, and I had Mr. O'Brien, which students are floored by because that's how old he is. So I had the same teacher that some of my students had. It's kind of funny. But anyway, yeah, I grew up here, and from Niles North, I went to U of I, where I got my um, teaching degree in chemistry and physics. I then came back eventually during my career and got a master's degree at Northeastern. I started my career at Carmel High School for a few years, and then I was at Antioch for 5. But it was always my intention to come back to Niles North because this is really my home. This is where I learned I wanted to be a teacher from my old chemistry teacher, Mr. Cardula. But if you want more of those details, you can see that in my introductory letter, which is I'll show you where in a minute. Since that time, some professional things that I've gone through. I've been national board certified. I've won some teaching awards, and I'm also currently the head coach of Science Olympiad and Scholastic Bowl. So if you have students who are interested in those, please let me know and send them to me. Um, so in any case, that's just a brief introduction to me. I should also mention that I married 3 kids. I live in Morton Grove, so I'm in the district. And my kids go to the district schools. Actually, I have a son who's a sophomore at Niles West. So I am fully invested in this district in every possible way. Okay. So philosophically, I'm most interested in students really doing science, hands-on activities. Unfortunately, our current predicament kind of makes that hard. So I'm hoping we get back to in-person learning as soon as possible so we can really get in the lab and really play, if you will, to learn about what we're learning on paper. Now, how does this look in a remote setting? Well, I'm trying to convert many of our labs into either video-based and or interactive simulation-based. So as best as we can, we're trying to illustrate the lab work and equipment and procedures through that kind of medium. It's not ideal, but I think it's better than nothing. So that's kind of where we're at right now. So students are still going through the hands-on lab work in a different way, but still it's something until we can get back in person. In the end, though, this course is meant to do primarily 2 things. One, it's to introduce students to the world of chemistry at a pretty challenging level, given that it's honors. But I do want them to learn things that are interesting and useful. I want them to see the chemistry we talk about in the world around them. But I also see it as a stepping stone to AP chemistry, which is a course I also teach, and I encourage your students to take as well. Um, so, what should students get from this class? Hopefully, knowledge in the subject area is a key point, but even beyond just chemistry, what will stay with students is an improved ability to think. Their analytical and problem solving skills will also hopefully improve, and as I've said, a deeper understanding and appreciation of the world around them as it pertains to the scientific view that chemistry gives them. As far as contacting me and looking at the information and resources for the course, I'll kind of go through these with you in a minute, but let's just go through some direct contact information. So this is my school phone, which will forward me messages if people leave messages. This is my direct cell phone. You can feel free to use that if it's more convenient. And then this is my email, which is the best way because I'm pretty much monitoring my email almost all the time when I'm not asleep. So pretty much at any time that I'm awake, if you email me, I'll get back to you pretty quickly. Okay. As far as these other resources, let me kind of click through things a little bit. So here's my website. You can just Google Mr. Kretzos or you can find it on the district webpage. But for the most part, this has everything linked that your students need and that you'll also be able to see. So for example, the policies for the course, although having to be amended for a remote learning environment, basically tell you, the basics, like how do you get a grade in this class, what are the expectations and all that sort of thing. And here's the introductory letter about me and my background if you're interested. So again, that's linked directly to this website. And the nice thing about the web page is it's open. You don't have to go through Canvas and you don't have to go through like some extra portals or anything. It's just literally there on the web for you. So I also have my calendar, which will basically tell you day to day what we're studying and what the assignments are. So this way you as a parent, without having to go through any other software, can kind of just scroll along with us and see what we're doing on any given day and what's due when. So, the answer to the age-old question, what did you do in school today? To which, the age-old answer, I have a teenager, so I know what the answer, nothing. You don't have to go through that conversation now. You can just look for yourself and see what we did. So this course will meet next on Tuesday the 29th. We're going to do a lab. As I said, the best as we can through video and discussion. And then they're going to do a lab report that's due that night. On the asynchronous days, we often have some kind of assignment for students to work on their own. So even though we don't meet, for example, a lot of times I'll put either lab work or tests or some kinds of quizzes on those days because our time is so tight that I prefer to use our together time for teaching, direct instruction and or interactive simulation type things or things where students work in groups rather than using it for testing because again our time is very limited and we need to use it to maximum efficiency. But again, my main point is to show you that this calendar is available to you at any time. Also on here are the links to the course materials. So if you click on here, we're currently in Unit 3 on stoichiometry. This shows notes, links to the book, lab handouts, worksheets, all kinds of different things, problem sets. So everything that pretty much the students are getting is here, and you can see it as well. Now, for the students, I'm mostly directing them through the Canvas site because that's kind of the way that we've decided to do it this year. It's actually not too bad. So within Canvas, it's nice because students will see a to-do list for all their courses. But within a course, they'll see the specific assignments and things that are coming up or that are due. But like I said, the policies, my calendar, my website, all are linked within here as well. The Zoom room is where they come in to attend class. So I have that for them to click on conveniently every day. Our schedule. And then I've organized the information kind of like on my website in a modular way. So when they click on a given unit that we're studying, there will be an embedding of the web page, sometimes notes and presentations, and then the assignments pretty much provided in sequential order. Whether it's homework, whether it's quizzes, whether it's lab work, it's all there for them to see. One convenient house for everything, and I think by now they've gotten pretty familiar with how to navigate this. You should have also, as parents, received instructions on how to get onto what's called the Canvas Parent Portal, so you can monitor grades and stuff. If you have questions about that, please contact me and I can try to help you through it if you haven't been able to connect to it. But otherwise, feel free to contact me with any questions, not just questions about grades. As far as what students need course materials wise, that's all pretty much online. So the book, I have a couple books actually that are linked online for them to use. There is a workbook that some students did or didn't get. We don't really need this. It's just an extra practice. And then as far as what they're using, obviously their Chromebook, the calculator, pens and pencils, things like that. But really I'm asking them to keep a journal/notebook where all their problem sets, notes and such should be housed. Probably the most important thing for them to have is a curious mind, really a curious and attentive mind, because under the circumstances of having to sit and learn on a computer screen on a regular basis, it's hard. And I understand that. So I try to be as generous as possible with things like due dates and assignments, and I give students many extra chances to fix things so that they can really progress in their learning and learn from their mistakes. So it's really, if nothing else, a very open forum for students to really try their hardest and know that there is a safety net of coming back and relooking at things and redoing things if they don't get it right the first time. And that's okay with me. So for the most part, as I said, my schedule, it's here. You can notice that in the yellow areas, those are what I'll call my definitive office hours, but really I've been using these study hall times in green, or the break times, or any time students ask. So if a student says, can we meet during this time or that time, as long as I'm free, I'm willing to meet with them. And that's true outside of class time, that's true outside the school day. Even on the weekends, I've met with students. So it's pretty much any time that I'm free that they want, that we can schedule a time they can meet with me and I can help them through things. So just know that I am readily available to make this as easy as possible for everybody, best I can. Well, I guess that's just about concludes what I wanted to tell you. Please feel free to ask me questions. Usually when we do this, I'm in front of the group of parents and they can ask questions as we go. Obviously, that's not as amenable here. So hopefully, um, this has been at least enough of an introduction to get you kind of started. And if you have any questions, please feel free to contact me. And again, thank you so much for everything you've done so far to help support the students because, as I've said, this has been, for what it is, a really great start to the year. I think we're doing really good work so far, and we're doing our best to keep up and push the students to the ability that, that they can go and try to get some good chemistry learned. So thank you again, and I appreciate all your efforts. Please feel free to contact me. Good day.